This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Abe, the numbers are in, and you might be surprised to find out it was the United States that led the world in unprovoked shark attacks in 2021, which I thought would be Africa or Australia. But the number was actually only 47 of these unprovoked attacks. You think about all the people that go to all the beaches all over the country, and half of those attacks happened in the state of Florida. So the odds of you suffering one of these are low. What the heck does that have to do with our retirement savings, you ask? There was an article by T. Rowe Price that says, we have a tendency to overestimate the probability of unlikely events like shark attacks, and that in turn affects our behavior. Abe, what do you say to clients who are afraid to do things like spend their retirement dollars, especially in later years, because they are afraid of running out of money?
I would say, listen, I get it, right? Because in our industry, the large majority of financial planning and retirement planning advice, Heather, is on accumulation and on investing and on rate of return, what you're earning on your investments, pedal to the metal, maxing out your accounts. And it's easy to talk about your accounts, especially when the markets are up as they have been the last few years, in the 20 to 30% range. It's easy to talk about them and to brag about them, to say, hey, look what I got. And do I even need a professional, to work with in this next season of my life?
Right.
So I get the concern of potentially running out of money in retirement. That's a retiree's number one concern. But I feel like retirees just need permission to spend their own money. This is a new task. This is daunting for a lot of people, Heather, because all we've ever known is work, and max out our accounts and save and invest. We do not know, and we are not comfortable with pulling money out and enjoying it without the fear of running out. So if we can give people added confidence by creating a retirement income plan, income, key word there, not just growth, but an income, a distribution, a withdrawal plan that you can just enjoy this money without the fear of running out, that you can enjoy this money while protecting and preserving your life savings from major market crashes, from higher taxes, from inflation, from healthcare events. That's exactly what a great retirement planner should be helping you with.
Okay.
The issue is, Heather, is that the industry focuses on growth and rate of return and what you're investing in, and there's very little focus and planning done around a phase 2 income retirement plan.
Got it.
And that's what I feel our strength is, Heather. And that's why I feel we get so many people calling in from WMAL and from the TV show and from our other educational outlets to come in and get a complimentary comparison, because many people we meet with do have another advisor out there, but almost always they're that accumulation focused, growth focused based advisor firm. That's not wrong.
Right.
It's just a totally different type of plan. Why? Because we're not 40 and 45 anymore. We're not 50 anymore. We're 62. We're 68. We're 72. And we need a plan for this next season of our life. We are transitioning from pure growth to growth and income.
Right.
So we just had a lady call into the show, and she is 72. And here she is for the first time in her life, Heather, facing forced IRS required minimum distributions.
Got it.
She's done a fantastic job. She's got $1.5 million saved.
Awesome.
But she's got forced distributions due for the first time in her life this year. She's concerned with that. She's looking for a plan and strategy around how to tackle forced distributions. She had no idea what sequence risk is or was, and we went through that. And she's got stuff all over the place. She was also looking for ways to lower and mitigate tax, because we found out that more than half of her life savings is inside the TSP. Not bad. It just hasn't been taxed yet.
Got it.
It's
Okay.
all pre-taxed,
Got it.
which is why she has some hefty RMDs. So some of her problems were Her stuff's all over the place. We call it a financial junk drawer oftentimes on the show, just saying that, you're going to get your pension statement, your social security statement. You may have an annuity or two. You've got some real estate. You're going to have stocks and brokerage accounts. And all these account statements come in. And most people are like, well, I think I'm okay. I've got $1.5 million saved, not including my property and other things, but I have no plan. So I really don't know that I'm okay. So she wanted an assessment. She wanted a complimentary comparison. She's done this on her own, so no one's managing the money for her.
Oh, wow, okay.
And she's done a pretty good job considering. She's got E-Trade accounts and a TSP and some accounts elsewhere. And so she really wanted to know where she stood. So what did we do? We provided her with a comprehensive plan. The first thing we started with was an income plan. Hey, you're 72. You have forced distributions this year for the first time in your life. Has anyone ever shown you a roadmap? Has anyone ever given you a roadmap, a GPS for your retirement? How do you know where you're going without directions? Right?
Yeah.
So we started with an income plan. And although it's simple, we monitor it and update it several times a year with our clients as we meet with our clients quarterly. So we started with that income plan and roadmap. We discussed how to tackle sequence risk. And sequence risk, for all of those of you that are listening right now, if you're in retirement, as this lady is, and withdrawing for the first time in her life, if the markets are down and you're pulling dollars out at the same time, you can have a double negative or double whammy, and that can really adversely affect your portfolio values. So we showed her how to tackle that problem. And one of the ways that you can tackle that problem is by not having all your eggs in one basket, because if we have losses in the market and withdrawals on top of it, again, we have that double negative, and we may not be able to recoup that loss, Heather, because next year the IRS wants you back in for that next RMD. We showed her where her risk tolerance was, what her speed limit was, how fast she was going down the financial highway, how much risk she was taking, what her dividends looked like, what her expenses looked like. We showed her how to get more defensive and more conservative. And so for anyone listening right now, if you sound a little bit like this lady and perhaps you're transitioning from the growth phase of retirement, from your working career of your life into retirement, you don't have a plan, or you're working with another advisor and you're asking he or she questions about taxes, about when to take Social Security, about a plan around RMDs, about estate planning help, and you're getting generic advice, and you feel that there's got to be a better way to build a retirement income plan, just go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the website page, and we can set up a time with you to discuss all of what we just mentioned.
All right, Abe. So we have all heard about, secret menus and hidden menus and food hacks, but I'm not sure if you've heard about this McDonald's situation that's going on. For a limited time, McDonald's is selling 4 hacks off of its menu. Basically, it's a combination of sandwiches and items. For instance, one is called the Land, Sea, and Air. It's a Big Mac with the filet of fish and McChicken patty all in one. But there's a catch, and CNBC's Shepard Smith, a self-professed McDonald's fan, is not loving it.
And here's the most ridiculous part of all. They want to sell us the separate things with the patties and the bread and the special sauce or whatever, and we have to put it together ourselves. Literally, they have run out of people to work there, and they want us to do it and do it completely wrong and be happy about it. Land, sea, and air, McDonald's, stop it. Stop it right now.
He is not okay, Abe, but it's understandable where his frustration comes from. And it actually kind of reminds me about the idea of building our retirement plans and the help we so often seek. Sure, there may be some pros to a DIY method, but I imagine there are also many cons. So what are some that you can think of and like to point out to folks?
Yeah, great question. I agree with Shepard Smith there. Don't fix what's not broken, right?
Okay,
I don't want to be making my own, fast food sandwich as I go through the drive-thru. So, but yeah. So, what are some of the concerns and cons and maybe do-it-yourself investing, right? You don't know all the rules to the game. And that's a big thing. Rules are constantly changing. It's hard enough for even us as retirement planners and insurance and investment professionals to stay on top of the ever-changing rules. And we go to multiple conferences a year and we try to stay educated ourselves, and we do. But it's not easy. I mean, the rules are constantly changing. So you don't know what you don't know, a successful do-it-yourself investor. Fees. It's really interesting. And these could be funds with, really well-known companies. But when we put these funds inside of our investment analysis software, we oftentimes find out that the cost of some of these funds out there is close to 1%, over 1%. That's like paying an advisor a fee without getting the management, right? Without getting the advice. Just inexperience. Less experienced investors may miss nuances that a professional manager or advisor could catch. Lack of liquidity and transparency. Self-investors may find buying and selling positions to be more difficult than trading stocks and bonds. And many are prone to reacting based on their emotions and not sticking to a long-term plan based on their goals and objectives. That's a huge one.
Got it.
Is that if you're working with a great retirement planning firm, they should be able to help you take a lot of emotion out of the equation and stick to the plan. Right? There's always going to be good times and bad. So we just had a couple come into our office recently, Heather. This is interesting. He's in his 60s. She's in her late 40s. There's almost a 15-year age difference. And this was the biggest concern for the husband. And for those of you women that are listening right now, if you've been listening to our show and you've been trying to get your husband to call in and make an appointment with us, get on him and get him to set up that appointment, because both of you are involved. That goes for husband, wives, partners, all of you listening. You want to get your spouse and partner involved as much as possible. Well, great guy here. He's looking to make sure his wife is taken care of. 15-year age difference. He knows the chances are very high he's going to pass away first, and he wants to make sure his wife is taken care of. They've saved about $1 million. They live in Leesburg. He's managed everything on his own, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He came in and checked his ego, not a big one, at the door and said, we need somebody local to work with. I need someone my wife can go to when something happens to me. Some of the big issues that they had, whether he was taking on too much risk, they had no plan. We put together a where do I stand plan for them.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Patrick Volk is an investment advisor representative of J. Hagan Capital, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish and Patrick Volk are licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish or Patrick Volk. NPN number 770-3575 and NPN number 727-978.